What is going on, my peeps? Your man Versatile is back with another video, back with another build. And yes, it is for a Hawkeye. And I'm calling this the balanced build. And why am I calling it that? Well, it's not necessarily because he doesn't do that much damage, he's more all around. It's to balance his melee with his ranged. Hawkeye, unlike Kate Bishop, is much better up close and personal, but his arrows can still do equal damage that to Kate Bishop's arrows. Kate Bishop is much more range based. In fact, you're better off building Kate Bishop range, but we'll get into that in another build. Hawkeye, on the other end, Mr. Clint Barton himself, he can go toe to toe with his blade or snipe you down with an arrow. The only difference is his main arrow, or his razor arrow, is his best arrow in my humble opinion. His, what is it, cluster arrow and tripwire arrow or whatever, I don't care for either one of those. And of course they'll do damage because you've raised the precision, you've raised his ranged damage, but his range, his other two sets of arrows are not as good, which is why Kate Bishop is much more better as an archer than Hawkeye in this game, which is kind of interesting. But I guess they did have to make Kate Bishop interesting and different from Clint Barton. So we're gonna get into the gear right now, and we got the Sword of the Storms. I literally just took it off like when I last played with him. Outside of this, you would think this is better, but I really wanted that ranged damage, so I was like, you know what, I'll get precision and might. I might as well get it. I still maintain a Tachyon. Well, no, I get a Tachyon surge with this, and it does his split shot. That's what it is, split shot arrow, which is basically a tripwire arrow. Does shock damage as well as his heavy combo finisher. So he's going to do some good shock damage here. If we go here, I have this adept protection arrowhead on him, and this does might, resilience, and precision. I get a defense buff with him because he's going to need it. You're going to do a lot of aiming, so when you're using your arrow, so it's best to have some level of defense for Hawkeye. His cluster arrows do particle damage, and he gets an intrinsic buff with a ranged critical attack. So I found this to be very useful. I actually just recently switched off, I believe, from this one. As much as I wanted to keep this one on there with precision and might, and his damage, his arrows doing, plasma damage instead. Pulsar arrows, that's what that is. I think I named Kate Bishop's arrows. The Jarvis Berry is nice as well. You could literally interchange this. It just depends on your thoughts when it comes to defense, because this will give him an additional trickle increase in damage for melee and ranged. So I may swap them back and forth, but it's not a big deal to me. When you look at his stats, he needs intensity. I should put the damage, the lethal will on him as his major artifact until I build his intensity, which means I may have to do a slight rework on the build, but I do like this build for Hawkeye. And you see his valor's up there, barely any proficiency, so I might end up updating the build for Hawkeye, but as it's constructed, he's pretty decent, so I'm not mad at what I currently have. Going to defense, I have the reflexive buff vest. Unfortunately, this has a 3 out of 5 gear perk star, but the perks are actually good. A 23% chance, parrying incoming attacks grants a damage buff, and courageous buff, critically injured triggers a damage buff. And with the defense being, it's actually a little better at 1400. But if I was to swap the range gear back out for the Jarvis barrier, then having this on would also help him trigger that damage buff, and damage reduction while aiming, perfect for a Hawkeye. Now these ones down here I haven't really paid too much attention to, so we'll move on from those. Heroic, I have the Hive Mind kit, which is might and valor, to give him some valor. His heroics are cool. I mean, his support is his best one in my opinion. The rainstorm or the whatever, that one when he rains arrows from down from up high is cool. It's a great distraction. It's a great interrupter, but overall his heroics are not that great. At least I haven't found them to be. So I still can, recharge them at a faster rate, as you see there. So that way at least I can use them more often. And then the counter extension is, not too worried about it, but I get a might and valor increase there. Here was intensity, valor, and might, and I got all that, and I'm tempted to put this back on just so I can give him some intensity, because that's what it's all about. But I pop, yeah. So I mean, I still get might and valor. I just, yeah, I don't, yeah, I'm gonna swap back out. So that makes a little bit more sense there. Gives them some intensity, so that way at least over 50% stun status meter damage is now in effect, and all his heroics now have great charging. So I think that's a little bit better. I can submit to that. Now this is where he's not quite finished yet. Oh, he might. I got the Cosmic Surge, Norn Star, Stone of the Wasteland. I can't read tonight. This could be infinitely better, I guess you could say, but I don't have anything that I really want to upgrade to. Got Resolve and a triple stack on Valor, which isn't necessarily bad, and I get increased damage from power attacks, so his bag of tricks will improve in damage. So I'm uber tempted to put this on him. Of course, I have precision, so I'm not dropping that off of him. If I could do another precision or might, I probably would, or if I could get a combination of intensity, right? Now I would like that as well. So I could take a hit in defense and put this on him. It's not necessarily blowing my mind away quite yet. Precision drops only slightly. Here it looks like it's going to drop a little bit more than slightly. That'll actually even him out a little bit more. So, you know what? You seen it here, folks. Even though I like the Cosmic Surge and the Assault Heroic Recharge, I'm going to do some damage reduction and put the damage from power attacks on him. I think that makes more sense there. The only piece I'm considering switching back to is this, which will lower his defense again, but will give him a boost in those stats again. And I'll have a Jarvis barrier, which makes sense for him with his defense being so low as well, and getting critically injured will trigger a damage buff. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. Now, here's one thing I could do as well. I have the Tacticon active. I could leave it because I'm doing battery damage with Hawkeye having warm and cold status effects with shock and plasma. The other thing I could do is swap this out and put on the will, which will help increase his damage buff duration. I think it's like by 4 seconds, I believe. Or that's what it was too. I didn't have it completely powered up for him. I don't know why I didn't. Don't ask me. But I really prioritize certain things for people. So, it's like one or the other, and Tacticon was a popular choice. So once I get this up, I might put this on him. But we're gonna test out live how the Tacticon, and I didn't even activate it with Hulk now that I think about it, or Black Panther. I didn't activate the Tacticon when I was showing you guys stuff, so I think what I'm gonna do is do that for you guys here for Hawkeye. And then this of course is like my favorite, one of my favorites, this one in the 1610, which is both from his iconic line, great outfits and great nameplate right here. So before we get into the skills, if you guys haven't already, make sure you guys like the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so that way you never miss my videos. That way you can sit back, relax, see what's cracking. And also let me know down in the comment section below what you guys think of this build so far. How have you built out your Hawkeye or your hero? Do you care about status effect damage, or are you a straight brawler in the form of ranged or heroic or melee? Or are you a tanky person, you just like to stay alive, so you got a straight defensive build for a lot of your heroes? Let me know down in the comment section below. Now let's get into the video and skills. Fairly straightforward with his skills. On his heroic, I got critical care. All heroes affected by the nanobots have a 20% increased critical attack chance and 20% greater weak point and critical attack damage. Why have anything else on him? All your heroes, including you, doggone do so much more damage with this active. And then here, strong medicine increases the initial amount of willpower recovered by 75% and the amount recovered over time by 100%. So this is a great way to keep him alive. As long as you stay in that circle of life, you good. So over here onto the heroic, we got Ion Charge, the Night Storm Arrow. That's what it's Night Storm, yeah. Charged with electricity and emit electric bursts that inflict shock damage after the initial impact. So having this along with plasma damage with the arrows is actually interesting because you could do battery damage basically just with his arrows alone and not even have to go in there with the slicing dice. You also got this where you can do cryo damage. Right, that works too. And you can also still do battery damage because cryo is a cold status effect as well. And that's 5 seconds. That doesn't say. Um, Enemies within the 5 seconds after bombardment ends. That's nice. The hailstorm's nice. Then you got fire, which is plasma damage. So you could just increase the amount of plasma damage you basically do, which is, ooh, whoa! I didn't even notice that. Whoa, and it launches them in the air. I mean, I like that. I'm not even gonna front. I mean, the reason why I like this is because it really kind of keeps them distracted. So just put it. But I can see why I may like doing this as well. I'm gonna switch to fire. I'm gonna try to fire one out. And then Falling Sky increases the duration of the Night Storm arrow's effects, dealing additional damage to enemies inside the bombardment zone. Why not? Makes so much sense. And then you can increase the size of the zone by 50% as well, which is pretty nice as well. So he's got some interesting heroic side effects, if you will, with this, what's the Night Storm arrow? Yeah, this one is increase the status buildup for all damage dealt by the Night Storm arrow by 30%. You could do that. You could do this, increasing the arrow's effect, or just increase all that damage dealt by 30%. I kind of like that. Yeah, why not? And then you got Twin Talons, which is cool. Fires 2 Hunter's arrows, dealing and applying shock damage. You could do this one as well, which is it attaches an explosive charge. When it hits the enemy, shooting an enemy or hitting them with a melee attack will detonate the charge. So that's nice, and it does high damage. This doesn't say it does high damage. I think I'm gonna do dive bomb. And then this one, prioritize the currently targeted enemy line for concentrated damage against a specific target. I mean, marked prey is nice too. And Hunter's Resolve recovers 5% willpower each time the Hunter arrow hits an enemy. Beautiful. Bird in the hand. Enemies defeated by the Hunter arrow have a 25% chance to drop heroic orb. And then you could taunt. Don't even worry about the taunt. And if you move into mastery, increase stun damage for melee attack. So you could do, I'm gonna do critical attack chance, because he's just in that. So that's 35% critical attack chance if you activate your support heroic already. So come on, man. You gotta see. Start thinking outside the box. Use all your skills in combination with one another to create a cohesive build. Increase damage of combo finishers, of course. You can increase the attack of sprint and dodge as well. And then you can increase the damage of split shot. I have to go look and see what split shot again is, but I think that's the second arrow. And then you got intrinsic orb, or you got heroic. Of course, let's go heroic. Increase damage and impact when shooting enemy weak points with razor arrows. I think I'm gonna leave it there. You got stun damage if you're a fan of that, or you can reduce the time it takes to fully draw and charge pulsar arrows. That's another option as well. Then we got shockwave. Triggers a shockwave when firing a fully charged razor arrow that staggers enemies. I like that. Increase the spread of the tripwire arrow. And if you're a big tripwire fan, use that. And then a fully charged pulsar arrow fire, partially energized, triggering a larger explosion if detonated immediately. So the pulsar arrow is the third arrow, I believe. So if you're a fan of that, use that as well. And then we got the earn perfect. Each perfect draw shot that hits an enemy adds a marksman buff that increases ranged attack damage by 10%. The buff can stack up to 5 times for a short duration, basically getting 50% damage increase, that's pretty impressive right there. Missing a shot will clear the stacks, so keep a sharp eye. Then increase the damage inflicted by both regular and charged cluster arrows. Nice. Super powered pulse. Okay. So yeah, a lot of pulsar arrow techniques. Return fire after successfully performing a dodge. Press square or triangle to perform a light or heavy counterattack. I like it. I do that often. You can do this with a boomerang arrow. When fired, inflicting additional damage on impact. I kind of like that. I do like Salt in the Wound. I do use this boomerang arrow from time to time. And you got parting gifts. Using the swordsman prodigy ability, attaches an explosive charge that detonates after the attack. Oh, that's nice too. Alright, and then we got the increases the base regeneration speed of intrinsic energy by 25%. Reduce the cost of intrinsic attacks. Reduce the intrinsic charge penalty when failing to counter. Okay. Increase rocket arrow damage by 25%. Okay. Requires rocket arrow to be effective. And then increase the duration of disruption debuff. Increase or inflicts 20% more stun damage to parried enemies. And you got overcharge efficiency, reduces the amount of overcharge energy drained when taking damage. That's smart. Increases the amount of overcharge energy gained from all range critical attacks. Ooh, 15%. And increase the melee attack damage by 20% in range while overcharged. Multi-talented. I probably should have that one, right? And then you got the overcharge efficiency, reduce the amount of when taking damage. So increase the amount of overcharge energy gained from combo finishers. Overcharge defeating enemies has a 10. So you know what? Over here, I'm gonna increase the attack damage then. Overcharge increase attack damage. I'm already reducing the energy drainage, so don't need a third one. Increase critical attack damage by 20% while overcharge. I like that. Let's see, restores 20% willpower and increase the locked on buff duration when defeating enemies by 2 seconds. All that's cool. I'm going with critical attack damage. So all that's good, and again, I was experimenting back in the day when these points first came out. So now I know what I'm concentrating on, which would be perk chance, stun status, damage, critical damage, and defense, willpower, recovery, effectiveness. That's what we're going to be going with for Hawkeye. Now if we come over here, I need to figure out what some of these arrows are. Let's see, I think, what's this? The disrupt, suspension arrow. Yeah, boom, in the air. So the razor arrow is a normal arrow, and you got the cluster arrow, where it's just the main, you switch over and use it. This I don't really care for, and this is a stun damage. So if you really wanted to do a stun, go ahead and do that. Tripwire, okay, and you hold it, and boom. And you could spread that if you want to with your mastery skills. And then you got this one too, electric current, but these that you got them anyway. But you got perfect draw, the deadeye, got sharpshooter, we got pulsar arrows. You want to blow it up, blow it up. You got the stationary, boink. Ooh, yikes. Then you got the neutron blast. That's all cute, right? You got the boomerang, the aerodynamic, finesse, where, okay. Catching, continue to hold. I haven't been able to do that in a while. I might try to demonstrate that for you guys as well. I like that one. Being able to zip line to people. Slice and dice. Quick draw reflexes, startling disruption, rocket arrow. Ah, that's rocket arrow. Okay, so that will do more damage when you dip and dodge. Ooh, bump, bump. All right, so now it's time to show you gameplay.
An elite AIM team is close by and on alert. Updating your HUD.
We don't stand a chance.
Look at all that status. All that status. wow. We just finished him off. Alright, come on. Okay. Now, that changed. Because as you guys just saw, I did his boomerang, and instead of him standing up and shooting it, he rolled and shot it. So,
Every member of the elite
I guess they
team
didn't
must be
fix that.
defeated.
Oh, no.
One of their agents is down.
Woo. You know what? Time to do it. Time to get them critical attacks in. Oh, okay. Wow, this is the one that does damage. You see that?
Another agent down. Well done. That squad member has been neutralized. Another enemy
Blow him
defeated.
up. Got the charge.
The team are no longer a threat.
Well, my squad's tight, but as you guys can see, first of all, that fire night storm arrow is cool. You see the amount of status damage he can do, even just with 52% stun status meter damage. And then when you string the things together, Hawkeye's a beast. I
Good
probably
job,
should try to
Avengers.
do training. I
With
might
this
do harm
victory,
room
you've
just,
weakened AIM,
just so I
given
can
the
keep
resistance
my
a
other
leg up.
heroes from
Keep it up.
taking away the credit for Hawkeye. But that is the Hawkeye build. Hope you guys appreciate and enjoyed it. If you guys have comments below about Hawkeye and about tips and tricks or how you have your Hawkeye build or your own hero, let us know down in the comment section below. But again, as always, if you guys haven't already, make sure you guys ignite the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so that way you never miss my videos. We can sit back and see what's cracking. But your man Verso signing out until the next video or live stream. Wait for